there's a button on this mic that when I grab this sucker, I end up hitting the mute button. So that screws up the stream. But anyway, should I do that all over again? You had Sexton, and he pretty much waxed everybody by 18 seconds. And how did he do that? Well, if he did that because of the whoop section. And on my track analysis, I said guys that go into the whoops, that decide to jump, are going to struggle because there is a long entry here. So guys are going to have to come in and they're going to have to break and then roll the first one and then raw, and they're out. But the guys that are able to come in, they don't have to roll off. They can just into them, and they end up doing really well. And I was also talking about Sexton basically lapping up to Roczen, and that's 7th place out of a field of 22 riders. Granted, Roczen, he's got a separated shoulder and he's got a bum ankle, so him just being out there is a feat in itself. However, saying that you're going to lap up to these guys is crazy. And I think in the 250 class, they lapped up to 6th or something, but that's kind of like beating a dead horse, if that's even the saying, because yeah, it's a bummer how many guys are injured at round 14 of 17. But if we look at the points standings, you got 9 points between the two. And that's basically with, let's just say Sexton wins the next 3 and Cooper Webb finishes second. Well, now they tie for the championship, but then Sexton gets it because of his just win ratio. He's got more wins than Cooper Webb. So if I was Cooper Webb, I'd be worried. I definitely would be worried, which is unfortunate for him. And if basically the whoops were the ones that got here. Sprocket, dude, you need to just hang out, man. Because it's hard to read the comments and it's hard to move around here when you're jacking around here. And what I thought was interesting about the 250s, okay, was first off, this was funny as hell. You have Deegan's mechanic starting to laugh at Hymus by just letting the bike just sail. And that's a meme from Brian Deegan and Hayden Deegan, which I thought was interesting. Just the battle never stops. And even when you have your mechanic going out there and doing little memes on the competition, it's saying something. And Wyatt, you're saying, I don't see how Webb can allow himself to get beat by 20 seconds. He was on another level. You know what? There is something that I want to share with you guys, and I want to show you that the broadcast did not hit, but you're going to have to wait till tomorrow. Well, actually Monday, before I release the lines video, because Webb was there. Webb was there, but it was essentially just the whoop game. And those guys, I said, having 2 whoop sections was going to kill these guys, especially guys that decided to jump through them. And Sexton was not jumping through him. He's one of the bigger guys. He was able to just stay on top of him. I believe Malcolm Stewart was staying on top of him as well, but yeah, for some reason he wasn't able to capitalize as much as the 450 guys with Sexton. And Sexton, dude, as long as he doesn't get in his own way, that is going to be his only detriment and really the only hope for Webb at this point. Because you know what's funny is, when do we ever see Webb qualify first? And Webb qualified first. And Sexton was 0.3, almost a half a second slower than Webb going into the main event. That's crazy. Normally Webb is like an 8th place qualifier, maybe top 5, but he's never the guy that's winning. Sprocket, I'm putting you down, dude. So I thought that this was going to be good, but again, my prediction for this week was, I said that basically here's the orange line. Here's the orange little dirt bike. I said Sexton was going to win. So this is going to be interesting, the next 3 races. And I'm going to be at Denver at 15. Dude, you keep coming back up. And we will see what happens, because normally about the last 3 rounds, everyone is just phoning it in because the points are where they're at and guys are just kind of wanting to get the season paycheck. So they're focusing on outdoors and they're just somewhat just phoning it in. And gosh, in the 250 class, Seth is on fire. I can't believe Pro Circuit has rejuvenated themselves with just one SOB that wins a East-West shootout. And then he's like, dude, I knew I had big balls. Now I can go out and win. And you got the veterans like RJ and Tom that are just sitting second and third. There's not much going on with the rest of the field. So it's just a battle between RJ and Seth. And there's 7 points between Tom and in the top 3 there with, I think, is it 1 race to go? Basically, maybe 2. Maybe they have 1 more and then the finale. And so that is going to be something to watch as well. But truthfully, the East Coast isn't as exciting to watch as the West Coast. And did Thrasher get penalized 1 position? They never release the penalty report until way late, because even looking at the results, if you go to just Supercross Live, ironically, right, Supercross Live, their website, they have Chase Sexton as minus 12 points where he's minus 9. So they're definitely behind and off kiltered there. Okay, but Racer X is pretty much the go-to for all that stuff, because they've even discontinued the whole PDF website as well. So now you got to go to Racer X to have everything, right? And Tom Vial, man, he needs something. He hasn't gotten a win yet, and he's rides well, and the whoop rule should help him out, at least when there's not 2 sets of whoops. So I think the next couple tracks are going to help him out. But because of where they're located, especially with Denver and Utah being fairly dry, I don't know, because Tom Vial, he's an MXGP guy. He's a guy that likes ruts. He likes it to be gnarly. And when it's just blue groove and hard pack and some choppy holes, I don't think that really suits his riding style too much, which is ironic because a lot of the MXGP stuff ends up being pretty hard pack and dry as well. But that's after there's already massive amounts of ruts and different lines everywhere, where it's even sketchier because there's just hard pack, gigantic 12 different ruts on faces and landings, which I think is interesting. But that's what we have to look forward to. Honestly, the last 3 rounds, battle between Sexton and Webb is where it's at on the East Coast. 3-way battle. Pretty cool. I'm stoked for it. And I thought it was interesting that a lot of guys ended up wearing hand guards, which that is saying that it was pretty rocky there. But I want you guys to stay tuned for the lines video that I'm probably going to release on Monday, because there's a couple cool things that I saw. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and notification icon. I'll probably release it towards the end of the day, mid-afternoon. But till next time, keep it WFO. And if you're going to go ride on Easter, okay, just keep it on 2 wheels. Okay, keep it on 2 wheels.